This video is sponsored by PCBWay, but that's not just some company willing to give me money. I actually use them and I'm going to show you how to, but later on. Hello, Randi Rain here, and I have a shell of a R2D2 from 1978. It's just a shell. Let's see what I can do with it. This is
Randi Robot Garage.
So literally this is just a shell. I've 3D printed some pieces. I've already gotten started here. And I have the shell, pretty much. It's missing the battery door. But I've printed a battery door, but I'll get into all that in a minute. There's no screws on anything. This all pops off. Now it does have the gears and the wheels still left here on both sides. Yeah, no, nothing there. And it has the little swivel that the head was on, but no guts, no head, no remote, of course. That's it. This is all the pieces I have. 5 pieces. So I've been thinking about what I could do with this thing. And I could remake it, you know, make it back and work just like it was, which was my original thought. Was I do that. But then I thought, well, you know, you got that dome. Domes are hard, and you got the silver. You got to find a good silver. So I thought, you know, I could make it into one of those R5 droids. And so I went online and I found a head to print out, but I hated it, so I made my own. Except for this. I used the top, but this part I had to redo completely. And so I thought, oh, I'll make that go on here. And I thought, well, I could make it that R5J2 robot that had the bad motivator and explodes in the very first movie, very first made movie. And then I looked at it, it's all yellow and everything, so then I thought, well, you know what, I can just paint it all black and make the R5J2, which is a really cool version of the robot. So I did that. So I was going to make a remote-controlled R5J2. Then I thought, you know, it's just another remote-control robot, which I have several right behind me. And so I thought, what else could I do? Well, I have a lot of sensors that I can use. And so I thought about just making it a little, you know, artificial intelligence robot. But I've done that before. And I started one and I got so hard and it just took so long and so many problems that I ended up abandoning it. And I don't want to abandon that, so I don't want to jump to something like that, which is going to be so much harder trying to fit all that in instead of building around it, which is what I was doing. So I wanted to make this a little bit easier, but I still just didn't want to make a remote control, and I like the idea of the artificial intelligence. So here's what I'm going to do. I know it has the gears and the wheels and stuff, but all that's coming out. And I'm going to keep it for something else, maybe use it. But for this, I'm not. So it's going to have some openings down here, which I will make little rubber plugs that fit into there so it stays and doesn't move. And it's basically going to be like, I don't know, an artificial droid nightlight, I guess you could say. So it's going to have 3 inputs. There's going to be a light detector, so it'll know if it's dark or light. There will be a motion detector, and there will be a sound detector. So if it hears a noise, a light changes, or motion is detected, then that's when it's going to react. And its outputs of reacting are going to be the head moving back and forth. I'll have sound. I have a little 10-second audio recording circuit here. And then there'll be a little LED, of course, and that will be the night light. So when it is dark and it detects motion, boom, it'll turn the light on for you. But it's more just for fun, really, than it is just a night light. But because it's going to be making noises and moving and stuff. So that's what I'm going to make. So it's a lot of work. I've already started on pieces. So let me get going. All right, so I guess the first thing to do is to start cutting where these sensors are going to go in. Start sanding down, which I've already started that as well, and finishing off all the 3D printed pieces. I'm going to just get rid of all this. It's going to have a cord going to it, so it's not going to need batteries. So all this has to come out. And then I'm just going to glue this in there. And this way, as soon as this comes out, that would fit all the way in there. That will get glued in, filled in, be ready for painting. This is the motion sensor. And I'm going to put it right here. But I don't think I want it like this. Because if you turn it sideways, it does kind of look like he's got a little pee-pee now. So I don't want that. So I'm going to drill the hole, and it's going to come up from behind and only stick through as much as it needs. And then the light sensor, I'm going to drill out right here. It's going to go in here. And then the sound sensor I'm going to put right here. I'm going to cut these slots so it can go. That's going to go behind there. I was going to put it here, but this is where the speaker goes. And there's already a spot for the speaker, and the speaker I'm using fits perfectly in there. So this is once again going to be used for the speaker. And then there's going to be one LED in the head. And if you take this apart, you can see the little traces here, I guess you'd call them, where the piece of metal would, two pieces of metal rub on these things. So it went to an LED up here. I think I'm going to use that. I'm going to use my trick with these little sensors here. So the sensor is going to be mounted up here. And then under in here, I'm going to paint black and white so it'll know where it's at. And then instead of having cords go up there so it can get twisted up, I think I'm going to go ahead and use that. And then I've built my own little gearbox here. Which brings me to the sponsor today. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the sponsor. And the sponsor is really just a company I use that I'm grateful that they help out. I mean, that's awful nice of them. But it's a company that I would use even if they didn't sponsor. And it's PCB Way, and it's about these printed circuit boards. Now, I used to print my own circuits like this all the time. You take these little perf boards and you solder it all together. And if you screw up, which I screwed up many times, well, you pretty much just had to, just start over and waste another perf board. So you would never want to do that, with a printed circuit board. Well, now you can. Essentially, they're that cheap. So I no longer really do much of this. There's times I do this, but I figured out I do the same thing over and over again using the same type of circuits, same type of microcontroller circuit, same type of motor control circuit. So this is totally the way to do it, and there's no reason not to do it now. I even designed this little motor control for this robot here. Everything you need to print these is in a link in the description. Also, there's 3D printing, there's CNC, they have all this stuff. So really, it is a company I do use. I will continue to use. I would not recommend them if I didn't. So check out the links below if you want to print out your own circuit boards that I've used. And go check out PCB Way. Alright, so I need to drill a hole here for this thing. And I have a screw post here, but it no longer goes anywhere, so that's not needed. And it's like right in the center. It's perfect, so I'm going to drill this way. Maybe not in the center. Wow, when that thing goes, it goes. And I think that's just perfect. a 3D print a piece that goes in here, holds this to here. We'll go and hold that to there, and then it'll have a flat edge that these little screw mounts will be able to screw to it, and it hold there. I've already been putting the CA glue all over this and sanding it down, and I have the other pieces for it, and this will eventually get glued on, and then same treatment here. Get rid of all this 3D printed detail, and I need to lock it in place, so I printed these things. I need to glue these into here. Probably about right there. Alright, I need to transfer the screw holes from here to here. I put some tape on here, kind of outlined where I want them to go. Have some black powdered pigment here, and I've taken toothpicks and shoved them in the hole. Boom. 3 dots. Alright, I got the paint on there, and I did a really heavy coat to fill in everything. And there's runs and stuff on it, so I'm going to let it dry really, really good so I can sand it down, and then I'll give it a proper coat. But until then, I can go ahead and start working on mounting these electronics. Now check this little guy out here. So there's these two pieces here, and they're being held on by screws through here. The little motion detector fits in like that, and then it'll go in like that. So what I need to do is put CA glue here and here to start off with, and then it goes into here like that. Get in there. Nah. Now come on, now check that out. Now that's, if that doesn't cause you to hit the like button, then I can't help you. This is what I got. So wires will be connected there. And this goes just like that. Screw these back in. And there it is. That's in place. And then these screws here, there, puts the microphone right in front of my ugly slot work here that I'm just pretending is battle scars and carbon buildup. And that leaves the last one here. And for that, I just need to drill 2 holes so the wires can poke through. And there's the 3 sensors mounted. So now it's down to this thing. First of all these can go. So much of this can go. I don't need any of these posts. I don't need this thing. I don't need that. So I 3D printed this gearbox because I discovered not only can you just buy these gears, well, you can buy the stainless steel shafts for them too. But in my gear collection, I had 3 of these gears that were idle gears that spun on the shaft, and 1 of them that locked onto the shaft. Alright, here's my solution. I 3D printed this, and there's 2 screws holding these 2 pieces together. And I should glue this top piece to this. I'm going to use this thin stuff. Let it soak down into that. Alright, so the inside of this robot head, all this will be painted black, except for 1 spot, which will be white. And then I have this little infrared detector here that will detect that spot. I could put it anywhere, it really doesn't matter. But it sure would be easy just to put it here in the front, and line it up in the front. That way I could paint the white spot right in the front. Now these little traces here, I'm going to be making these little doohickeys. I think that'll do it right there. Alright, so I'm going to end this video here. I still have a lot of work to do. I need to make the rubber soles for the feet. I need to record some audio of the robot sounds onto here. Figure out how to mount that. Make the motor driver circuit. Make the microcontroller circuit. Figure out how to mount that. Program it. And I think that's it. Anyway, that's all going to be on the next video. This video is getting way too long as it is. Anyway, if you like this video, I sure would appreciate a thumbs up. If you want to see how this comes out and you haven't subscribed already, you hit the subscribe button. I want to thank these people. These are patrons. These are people helping me out and people who allow me to do this right here. Could not do it without them, and I thank them all so very, very much. If you want to become a patron, there's, of course, links and privileges and perks and stuff like that. Anyway, until the next video for the R5J2, that was
Randi Robot Garage.
So if the motion detector detects something, it should light up the LED.